In the wake of Brian Flores' lawsuit detailing paid tanking allegations from the Miami Dolphins owner Steve Ross, former Cleveland Browns head coach and current Grambling State head coach Hue Jackson came forth with his own experiences with the Browns. We sat down with him at Radio Row to discuss exactly what happened surrounding the allegations. You have been in the spotlight recently surrounding a lot of things, but in your opinion, what is the hardest part of being a head coach in the NFL?
First of all, thank you for having me here today, and obviously I'm excited about being at Grambling State University because I think we're on the cusp of doing some great things. But the question about being a head coach in the National Football League, there's a lot of different hats that coach has to wear. There's a lot of responsibility that comes with that, a lot of stress, a lot of sleepless nights, but if you have a great staff and if you have veteran players who understand what it takes to win, you can get the job done.
Switching gears now to your tweet that you had set out with the $750,000 benchmarks that the Browns had offered you. Why did you wait until Brian Flores had gone public with his lawsuit to then come forth on Twitter with your experience?
Let me say this. I tried several times to come forward. Nobody wanted to listen. So this isn't the first time. I did that in 2016. I went to the National Football League and mentioned that there were some things that I thought were not right. So that's documented. That's known. And I just thought it was really also important to come out and support Brian. I think it takes a lot of bravery to do what he did. I tried to do it, and I did it by myself, and there was nobody helping me through it. So I thought me supporting him and showing that I would be there for him was important.
When you had your situation where you approached the league, how come you did not turn to the media in the way that Brian has now?
Well, because I tried to do everything the right way. You know, I tried to do it through what I thought was the league's procedures to find out how they could assist me in dealing with what I was dealing with, and it didn't turn out that way.
So when Brian Flores' lawsuit came out, were you surprised by the allegations, both the tanking and the racial coaching disparities? I'm
not surprised by anything, you know, that he brought out. I think people have to understand, we as coaches, we don't just say things the same. You know, what good does that do us? I mean, we normally get ridiculed and buried through the media. And I don't think people really think about it that way, but we don't just fabricate things or say things just for our health or for clicks or any of that. We say it because we've experienced it and we've had to deal with it.
In your time with the Browns, did you feel supported or undermined by your management?
Well, obviously I felt undermined. I did not feel supported. But at the same time, you know, I think all those things are going to show themselves as we continue to move forward.
With the obviously pointing out how there are many black coaches who are passed up for head coaching opportunities, sort of funneled into the assistant roles. You left the Browns and then you went to Cincinnati. How did your experience change once you had stepped down a position from the head to one of the more assistant roles?
Well, that was hard. I mean, that's what the problem has been for minority coaches. When they are head coaches, it's like, where do you go after it doesn't work out? I mean, normally coaches flow down. You know, there's normally a process. You go from head coach maybe to a coordinator to a position coach. For most minority coaches, you don't get another opportunity to coach. Maybe 2 or 3 years down the road, somebody gives you another opportunity, and I think that's unfair. I think a lot of guys have worked to build their careers in this league and given a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to the league, and for whatever reason, it just hasn't happened that way for us minority coaches.
You had said in a previous interview that when the Browns had approached you with this benchmark system, it was obviously different than the situation that Brian Flores was approached with, was straight up, I'll pay you to lose. Had the situation been different and that was how the Browns had approached you, would your decision-making process have changed?
No, because it would have been, why? Why are you offering me this? That's what I felt I would have said. And to me, we as coaches, we're there to do a job. We're there to win football games. There's nothing in our contract that says losing. So that would have been a real red flag, you know, more so than even the 4-year plan was. But at the same time, you do everything you can to fix things where you are, the best you can, till you realize you can't, and then you move on.
Last question, just kind of looking forward. This is just, currently, it is yourself and Brian Flores. Assuming that this is not only the 2 isolated incidents, how do you see the league changing in the wake of this public lawsuit?
Well, I would hope they do. I hope they change in the fact that we need to get better markers, per se, so that we look at what's going on inside the league. I've made several recommendations to the league. I felt that Roger needed to be more involved with the minority coaches, because I think they're carrying the weight of not just themselves, but also the other minority coaches that will come behind them. So they needed to have a voice to be able to talk to him about the things that they're dealing with and the things that they may be dealing with at work. And so I've made several recommendations to the league. I think it's so important that now, that this has been in the spotlight, that the league really goes back and see what they can do and do it better, because this shouldn't happen. For Brian Flores to feel like his career could be over, for me to have gone through that same experience in the National Football League, to me that says it all, and it shouldn't be that way.